All right, welcome back to the AI Research Roundup. I'm your host, Alex. Today, we're diving into an article titled Anthropic Economic Index, Insights from Claude 3.7 Sonnet, published March 27, 2025. This post examines the impact of the new Claude 3.7 Sonnet AI model on the economy. Basically, Anthropic analyzed 1 million anonymized Claude.ai conversations, mapping them to tasks within the U.S. Department of Labor's database. They found a modest increase in usage across coding, education, and science sectors following the release of this model, which, well, features a new extended thinking mode. Okay, so Figure 1 visually represents this upward trend mentioned in the summary. It's a simple line graph showing growth, likely depicting the increased usage of Claude 3.7 across those coding, education, and science sectors. It emphasizes, well, the overall positive impact and adoption following the release of this new model. So Figure 2 shows us which jobs use Claude 3.7's extended thinking mode the most. It looks like, well, technical roles dominate. Computer and information research scientists lead the pack at nearly 10%, followed by software developers and other computer-related occupations. This aligns with this article's earlier point about increased usage in coding and science fields. Okay, so this figure from page 6 shows the breakdown of Claude 3.7 usage between augmentation and automation across different interaction types. Well, it compares two data samples, V1 and V2. Interestingly, the learning interaction type increased notably in V2, going from about 23% to almost 28%. This aligns with the summary, which, well, mentions a shift towards more learning interactions. Other categories remain relatively stable, reinforcing that overall augmentation/automation ratio staying pretty consistent. Okay, so this figure on page 8 provides a breakdown of Claude 3.7 usage by occupation, specifically looking at the balance between augmentation and automation. Well, like the previous figure, it reinforces the importance of augmentation across many sectors. Community and social service roles show particularly high augmentation, almost 75%. Interestingly, computer and mathematical occupations show a more even split. This article highlights how different occupations use the model in distinct ways, with some, well, like copywriters, showing high task iteration, while others, like translators, lean towards directive interactions. Okay, so this figure on page 12, titled Comparison of Task Coverage Across Occupations, compares, well, old and new data on AI task usage across different jobs. It shows the fraction of occupations using AI for a certain minimum percentage of their tasks. Basically, there's little change between the two datasets, suggesting that the depth of AI integration across occupations has remained relatively stable despite the release of Claude 3.7. This supports the article's finding of modest rather than radical shifts in AI usage patterns. Alright, so this last figure on page 13, titled Major Occupations with Percentage Differences, shows, well, how Claude 3.7's usage has shifted across different occupations compared to previous data. Computer and mathematical occupations saw the largest increase, about 3%. Education and science fields also show notable increases, echoing the growth trends we saw in that earlier figure, figure 1. Okay, so overall, the changes are relatively small, reinforcing this article's point about modest rather than dramatic impact. So this final figure, from page 14, shifts focus a bit. It shows the top occupations using Claude 3.7 for, well, over half of their tasks. Interestingly, librarians top the list alongside computer hardware engineers, both at around 56%. Okay, so this highlights that the impact extends beyond technical roles, aligning with the summary's point about broader adoption. We also see office clerks and database architects using it for a significant portion of their tasks, further reinforcing this idea. So this figure on page 16 shows the top tasks performed using Claude 3.7, according to the new bottom-up taxonomy mentioned in the summary. Well, it's interesting to see debugging leading the way at over 10%, performed by software quality assurance engineers. Okay, so other top tasks also relate to technical areas, like evaluating data sources and database administration. This further reinforces this article's observation about the prevalence of Claude 3.7 usage in technical roles. And, well, this new taxonomy offers a more granular perspective compared to the Sonnet data used in earlier figures. Okay, so this article from the Anthropic Economic Index provides insights into the impact of Claude 3.7 Sonnet on the economy. Well, the key takeaway is that its adoption has seen a modest increase, particularly in technical fields, but also in areas like education and science. The new bottom-up taxonomy offers a more detailed view of how people are actually using the model, well, beyond predefined categories. Alright, thanks for joining this week's AI Research Roundup. This is Alex, signing off.